So we have acquired different talents in recent months. Many of us are now expert bakers. Not I, if you're wondering. Some of us also might be able to find items otherwise sold out in a flash. But our new skills, they go beyond hobbies. We are now more spontaneous, flexible, and understanding. We have had no choice. Many of us have a lot of Air Canada and WestJet money saved up. These credits, they represent our past hopes of travel, as well as our intention to get back on a plane one day. We do not know when that will be, when we will feel comfortable once again recreating these journeys, but we are hopeful that it'll be soon. We all have friends and family who do not live in driving distance from us. We have become FaceTime masters as we seek to minimize the distance between us. However, we continue to crave the human touch, even a simple handshake or a hug. We will never again take these loving rituals for granted. My heartfelt feelings have been with families who had intended to celebrate life cycle events such as weddings or bar and bat mitzvahs. These events have looked nothing like we could have imagined. Generally, they've been smaller, they've been virtual, and they've been creative. We will hold memories of these simchas close as representations of how we keep our intentions consistent, even as everything around us looks different. We now know this new reality is here for an extended period of time. Grounded in the season of renewal, we are called to use these sacred days to let go. This is the time to look forward, not back. Yes, we crave the normal, but by necessity, we can create a new normalcy. For example, in March, our temple community ventured into virtual worship for the first time. We are known for many things at Temple Israel. Technology was not one of them. But not only did we thrive, countless people have asked our leadership to ensure that they can continue to watch temple services from home, even when the pandemic is over. Now, don't misunderstand me. Nothing can replace sharing in-person fellowship and faith, but we can celebrate the trailblazing that we have done in these difficult times. I am guessing that some of you watching from home might just be wearing your pajamas as you watch this service. Good for you. The holiday prayer Unatana Tokef speaks to these essential principles. It is one of our most important and cherished liturgical works, even as the message is quite harsh. Who will live and who will die? Who shall perish by water and who by fire? Who by earthquake? Who by stoning? The list of pathways to death is shocking, yet honest. Like newspaper projections, it reminds us that some will die from cancer, others in war, some from drug overdose, others in car accidents. And unlike years past, we ask, how will our lives be impacted by COVID-19? More than ever before, we now know life is unpredictable and it changes in an instant. We struggle with this prayer for many reasons. On the surface, it paints the picture of God as controlling and humanity as powerless. Further, the message reminds us that we have and will continue to face hardships as individuals and as a people. We're called to stand tall and remain faithful despite hurtful setbacks and injustices. Is it possible to let go, to chart a path forward in the face of such unforeseen threats? What is it about this prayer that draws us in? At this auspicious time, the beginning of a new cycle, a time when we are attuned to life, this prayer, it sharpens our attention on our frail nature. Yes, our existence is quite vulnerable. We are not almighty, and this prayer is humbling. It is as we recite Unatana Tokef that we take a step back, we turn to God for support, for guidance, for compassion, and we let go. The ongoing story of our life informs this prayer, filling in where the liturgy can only gesture. No stone unturned, no question unasked. We demand to know, why are we suffering? We come to realize we are unable to provide answers. And we give ourselves permission to dwell in this unknowing. Because perhaps there is no answer. However, we cannot simply accept our limitations as human beings, for it is as we let go that we become empowered. The prayer ends with the essential words, repentance, prayer, and charity, tempered judgment, severe decree. We are reminded we can soften the challenges we face. We can rise up to the occasion. There is much in our world that we do not control. However, there are even more areas in our lives that we do, where we sit in the driver's seat, where we have the power to take the initiative, where we can respond with intention, with courage, with love. Given that we will each die one day, how will we make the most of our days? We can examine our faults and our wrongdoings. We can write them with lessons learned. We can offer personal, soulful words to God, to another, to ourselves. We can give generously with compassion, time, and tzedakah. There is a tension present between free will and determinism, but it is free will that wins out. Of the varied emotions that we have shared over recent months, helplessness comes to mind as top of the list. In countless ways, we have been unable to act as we are accustomed. Or is that really the case? We have already let go in many ways, and we have risen to the challenges before us. We have been caring, we have been generous, we have been innovative in new and refreshing ways. In recent months, our caring team called every single member of our temple community, ensuring they know that we are there for them. Many commented that it is today that they feel more connected than ever before. Our Temple Israel Religious School went virtual. Our Wednesday afternoon numbers even went up. With creativity and love, we provided educational tools for our youngest members, sometimes better than they were receiving from their everyday schools. And with social media, the loud blast of the shofar, it has traveled near and far, and it has woken us up to our responsibilities. To date, there are more than 600 hits. The ancient call was also heard at Muni's Bay last week. For the first time, we partnered with our neighboring congregations to offer Tashlich as one united Ottawa whole. At Muni's Bay, over 100 of us were present, a bigger crowd than we have ever had before. And together, we said goodbye to what was, and we said hello to what can be. Demain, la Torah nous invitera à choisir la vie. La paracha que nous lirons nous rappellera que tout acte, toute parole, tout sont l'expression de choix. Faisons donc des choix qui nourrissent le shalom, la paix et la plénitude. Commençons par nous-mêmes. Puissons-nous trouver le courage de tourner la page, de commencer à neuf d'élaborer une nouvelle normalité. Une fois libérés de nos attentes antérieures, nous pourrons alors bâtir autrement. Tomorrow, we will be directed in our Torah portion to choose life. We will be reminded that everything we say or do, it is a choice. Let us make choices that foster shalom, peace, and wholeness. We can start with ourselves. May we find the courage to let go, to even start over, to make new normals. And once free of the expectations that we had placed on ourselves, we can rebuild. We do so in new directions. We can experience new travels, perhaps closer to home. We will find ways to see our loved ones. We will make new memories. I know that some of us even rented RVs this summer to bridge the gap. And of course, we will continue to have weddings, bar and bat mitzvahs, baby namings with creativity. We will surround our dear ones with blessing and love, even as we do so in new forms. While none of us knows the exact destination of where these pathways will take, let us be confident that promise and good tidings, they await us. Let us free ourselves. Let us embrace the year 5871 with a whole heart. Let me close with an interpretive Utana Tokef by Rabbi Joseph B. Metzler. On Rosh Hashanah it is written, on Yom Kippur it is sealed, that this year people will live and die. Some more gently than others, and nothing lives forever. But amidst overwhelming forces of nature and humankind, we write our book of life. And our actions, they are the words in it. The stages of our lives, they are the chapters, and nothing goes unrecorded ever. Every deed counts. Everything we do matters. And we never know what act, what word will leave an impression or tip the scale. So if not now, then when? For the things we can change, there is teshuvah, realignment. For the things we cannot change, there is tefillah, prayer. For the help we can give, there is tzedakah, justice. Together, ensemble, let us write a beautiful book of life for the Holy One to read. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will.